Hi, it's Hesu, and right now we're going to be talking about anxiety. So for those of you that don't know what anxiety is, chances are you actually do, and you just don't know what it's called. So have you ever experienced being worried? Or have you ever experienced this inexplicable dread of something that may or may not happen in the future? The thing about anxiety is that it is future oriented. It's the feelings and the symptoms in our body that we're experiencing when something inside us is perceiving some kind of threat or danger that is yet to come. So we're going to talk about anxiety, some of the symptoms you might experience, and even a couple of tips to help alleviate it. But ultimately, a really good way to address really extreme anxiety, severe levels of anxiety, is to seek out professional help, either through a therapist or a variety of other people that can help you with calming yourself down when you're experiencing these things. So like I said, anxiety is future oriented. And we're going to get a little bit more into what that means in a second after I talk about some of the symptoms you may have experienced when you're anxious. So I'm not going to cover everything in this short time here, but I'm going to talk about some of the big things that I have noticed in my practice as a therapist in a lot of the clients I have worked with. So, perspiration. If you don't know what that is, it's being real sweaty. Why is it that we get so sweaty when we're nervous or when we're anxious or we're concerned about something that has yet to happen? The idea is that anxiety is an evolutionary adaptation to help us survive. And so I'm going to be talking about these symptoms as things that are actually in place to help you, because when you're thinking about anxiety in a different kind of way, you can understand your anxiety in a different kind of way. So back to perspiration. Why do we sweat? Your body is proactively regulating temperature. It's preparing you to exert some kind of physical energy to fight off this danger that you are perceiving. So generally when you're experiencing anxiety, it could be because you have a big test coming up, or maybe you need to bring up a really difficult topic of conversation with your partner or your family. Something scary is going to happen, and so your body perceives this threat, this danger, and it starts to prepare for things that you've heard of, like fighting, fleeing the scene, or freezing. So for perspiration, like I said, your body is proactively regulating temperature to get you ready to exert physical energy to fight off this danger or to run away. Some other things you might experience is a rapid heart rate. What's going on when your heart is beating so fast and you feel like it might stop? That's another part of panic that might come. We all have experienced sometimes panic and the thoughts that accompany it, which is, I'm gonna die from this thing. So what's going on? Why is your heart beating so fast? Your body is trying to help you. It's pumping more blood through your body to get more oxygen to your bigger muscle groups. So when I say bigger muscle groups, I'm talking about your legs, I'm talking about your arms. I'm not talking about your feet and your hands. So it's actually another symptom. You may have experienced really cold hands and feet when you're anxious. Why is that? Your body is taking more oxygen and blood out of your extremities into your bigger muscle groups to prepare you to fight off danger with your arms or to flee, run away with your legs. You may be experiencing a loss of fine motor skills because your body doesn't need you to be able to grab tiny little things when you're fighting off a bear, for instance. Other symptoms to be thinking about, maybe you've had or experienced lightheadedness, blurred vision. All these symptoms are basically your body's way to prepare for some kind of big action to fight off something bad. The problem, however, is that all these things that used to help us in a time and place are no longer helpful. So what do I mean by that? Society and culture has evolved at a much faster rate than our internal processes and mechanisms to help us survive. So some of these things may have been really beneficial for someone living in a jungle or a forest, running away from a predator or someone dangerous, but now we sit at desks all day. We use a computer. We don't have to fight off a predatory creature or a neighboring tribesman that wants to steal our home. We take tests, we have jobs, we take care of our kids, we go to work. But our bodies are really prepared for something way more extreme, and so we find ourselves kind of freaking out. So what do I do when I experience these things? How do I make the anxiety go away? The reality, the harsh reality, is that you can't make anxiety go away. Is that moderate levels of anxiety are actually pretty healthy and they help you. Anxious thoughts, these things drive us to do something. They drive us to make plans. They drive us and motivate us to think of consequences, to prepare for the future. Without any anxiety, we'd be stuck to our own devices of living in this very present moment and kind of just always being on edge. So if you look at the animal kingdom, a lot of animals live this way. They're always nervous. They're always looking over their back. They're always doing this and that because they don't really have this ability to plan ahead the way that we do. And that's what anxiety does for us. So what are some things that people ask me about all the time is how do I just make those feelings go away? How do I make my heartbeat go down? How do I make the sweatiness stop? How do I get myself calm so I can take this test? There are some things that you can do. So you may have heard of something called mindfulness. You may have heard of progressive muscle relaxation. You may have heard that things like yoga and meditation can help people that are really, really anxious. Why is it that there's some kind of connection with these calming and Zen activities and kind of alleviating the symptoms of anxiety? The idea is that if we're consciously bringing attention to our breath, if we're slowing down the way that we breathe, we can actually remind our bodies that we are in fact in a safe situation and that we don't need to freak out. So all those symptoms I mentioned, those usually are triggered because your body is perceiving some kind of danger. You can use your mind and conscious breathing to remind your body that there is no danger. So how do we do that? One little tip I really want to share with you is just really mindful, controlled breathing. Next time you're kind of freaking out, you're probably not going to remember to do this, but if I can challenge you to do something, put one heart on your chest and one heart on your belly and notice which hand is moving more when you're breathing. When we're freaking out in general, it's your upper hand, your chest that's moving more. You're shallowly breathing. Why is it that we do that? We should really be breathing deeply. There's a lot of reasons why we do that, but I won't get into all those details right now. But essentially bringing your attention and focus back to your breath. Taking deep breaths so that your belly increases. This is deep diaphragmatic breathing, and this is a great way to remind your heart and the rest of your body that you can slow down, that you are safe, that everything's gonna be okay. So you can certainly look up all kinds of great breathing exercises that exist out there. There's guided meditations that exist on YouTube that can help you practice the art of mindful breathing. And when you think about meditation and yoga, there's so much focus on breathing. Why? Because it helps calm your body. It helps bring awareness to your present moment. And in your present moment, you are safe. Again, anxiety is future-oriented, and we want to get your attention back to the now, where you are, in fact, protected from all these things that your body thinks is a danger. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll find a lot more content on a variety of mental health topics. And if you're interested in learning more about online counseling, please click the link to BetterHelp.com below.